The Hill reports today how the Biden administration will try to save its student loan relief plan at the Supreme Court. Now, that's not really what I want to talk today about. I want to talk to the conservatives. I'm a conservative. If you've been watching any of my content, still early in the life of the channel, but if you've been watching any of my content, you know that I'm a conservative. And if you happen to be watching back, you know I'm very conservative, but I will not hesitate as I speak my commentary to call out the conservatives on some things. And the student loan program is one of them that I don't think conservatives are necessarily wrong about in good faith, because they care about often fiscal responsibility. However, most, I think, conservatives are not aware of how the student loan program works. A lot of conservatives paid for their own college, or they paid for college before the student loan program became what it is. And so I know that there are a lot of conservatives out there who hold their position on the student loan program and the recent politics surrounding it ignorantly. They hold it in good faith. They believe people should pay back their student loans, and they are upset with Democrats who just want to pay off all their loans. They just want to have the government pay off all their loans. I will say this. I am not in favor of the government just paying off all their loans. I think that's the wrong solution. But the way that these student loans are structured is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's loan sharking, and that's what needs to be fixed. When Republicans look at the student loan program and they say these guys just won't pay back their loans, these college kids or these adults who want their student loans just paid off by the government, and they just want somebody to pay off all their loans. That's, I paid off my loans, or who's going to pay off the loans that I took out, and all that kind of stuff. Why don't, you hear from Republicans a lot of times, that they took out a business loan or they took out credit cards or something like that. Why doesn't somebody pay off my bills? Student loans are different for people. And I'll tell you why. Not that somebody should be paying them off, but I want you to hear me out, because somebody shouldn't be paying off their student loans, but there needs to be another remedy to what's going on here. The student loans need to be fixed. But here's what's different about student loans. I'm going to be talking a lot about this because I don't think people know about this. Student loans aren't like a normal loan. If you have a normal loan that you take out, a normal loan for a car or whatever, a normal loan for a car or your mortgage or something like that, you have that loan, it accrues interest, and you have a set amount of interest. When you pay off your mortgage, you pay off your mortgage. When you have a business loan, you have a set amount of interest, you have a set amount of principal. When you pay that off, you pay that off. When you pay off your car loan, you pay off your car loan. Certain amount of principal, certain amount of interest, and you're paid off, right? However, when you have a student loan, that's not what happens. When you have a student loan, it has compounding interest that's applied to it. So if you make your minimum payments every month, that is not enough to pay off your student loans. In fact, that's only enough for the interest to continue to accrue more and more and more. Much the same way that a minimum payment on a credit card will just keep you going, but a minimum payment on a credit card will allow you to continue to get interest charges and interest charges and interest charges. It's very similar to that process. So people will have a large minimum payment on a student loan. And then you have people out there who 15 years into their student loan have paid 250% on their student loan. And so when you have a conversation as a conservative and you say these people need to pay back their student loans, many of these people have paid back their student loans. Many of these people have paid way more back than their student loans. And as conservatives, if you're standing on the side of fiscal responsibility and you're saying the government shouldn't pay back their student loans, the government shouldn't be using my tax dollars to pay back their student loans, you're right. The government should not be using your tax dollars to pay back their student loans. Instead, the government should be regulating. Now, the government backs the student loan system, and that needs to stop. But the government, so that's step one. But the government needs to be also regulating the student loan system so that, you know, what they have a 6% rate, or they have whatever percent rate. You know, maybe more than that. Hey, maybe it's a brutal rate, maybe maximum of a 20% rate. But when they hit that percentage point, that's it, like a car loan, right? They get to charge that, and then it gets paid off. They pay off that. And in that way, the bank makes their money, you pay off your total student loan, and then you get on with life. The government doesn't have to pay it off, all that. Right now, I look at that situation, I look at people who've paid 150%, 200% on their student loan and still have a ton left to pay. And these people are tied up for life just going on with their student loan. I just heard somebody, a commentator, a conservative commentator, talking on a podcast the other day with no intention to ever pay off her student loan. It's just a bill that she has accepted that exists. And so she's just going to continue to pay the minimum payment for the rest of her life, because as far as she can figure, it doesn't do her any benefit to kill herself for an extra income and spend the next 10 years or whatever trying to clear that up. Just keeping at a steady pace of just having that extra $300 or whatever is better for her than trying to work an extra job for the next 10 years and that's terrible. She should be able to pay that off and go. And so if you're a conservative and you didn't know that this is how these loans were structured, you need to know that. And what you should be doing to fight for these people, because this is a brutal thing hanging over their heads, right? You should be on their side. You should be on the side of these people. College students, yeah, taking on a loan at such a young age is not a great way to get started in life. But for some people, that's their only option. And it's not an option that I would advise a student to take on, but it's an option that probably should exist as an option out there. What should not be the case is to have these loans structured this way. So as conservatives, we should be on their side for this. We should be fighting for college students on this point. And we should be fighting for these loans to be fixed in their structure, regulated by the government. We're not for a lot of regulation, but we should be regulating businesses to prevent them. We should be regulating banks to prevent them from being loan sharks. That is protecting citizens. And that is the kind of regulation we stand for as conservatives. Preventing banks from becoming loan sharks, that's protecting citizens. We should stand for that. And we should start with that regulation. And then once that regulation is in place, then I strongly believe that we should pay off the student loans of anybody who has been loan sharked by these people to the point where a bank can get the money that is that standard rate, and the people can get their money back. I think that is a justified thing to do. So we should protect our people that way. Does that feel great? Probably not. Does that feel like we're using our tax money to pay off people's loans and all that kind of thing? Yeah. But when you're talking about paying off your business, you didn't have to pay 150%. You didn't have to pay 250% on your business loan. So we should make an effort to fix this for people. And we should fix it by not letting it continue to happen. And then we should fix it by reimbursing it. And the reason that we should reimburse it from a government standpoint is that as a government, we allowed that to happen. And the government supported it both in regulation, and the government supported it by backing these loans and encouraging these loans to run this way. So I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of conservatives out there who are going to push back on that and say, well, they made the decision. They made the decision when they were super young and whatever. So these guys aren't reading contracts. Somebody offered them a ton of money and they said yes, right? So, okay. But you may be a conservative. You may disagree. Make your case for me in the comments. That's fine. But we should be on Team College Student here. I may have my problems with the university system today and all that, but we should be on Team College Student here, and we should be on Team Former College Student here, the 35-year-old who still has 100% of their principal that they're owing because they've just been trying to figure out how they're going to pay their student loans. We should be trying to help those people figure this out rather than just saying, forget you. That doesn't do anybody any good. And we should be approaching this situation from a conservative standpoint. Whereas the left doesn't really have a solution for this. They just have a talking point. They just want to throw out there that we're just going to pay off your student loans. And that's not really what they're going to try to do. They're just going to throw, like Biden said, like Biden's trying to do here. He just wants to throw $10,000 at it. And he can't legally do it. It's going to get turned over in the Supreme Court. But we can actually execute a plan along these lines. And we should. And so let's get that out there. And let's work on executing some reasonable regulation so this doesn't keep happening. Again, I'm not for regulation, but we should have, not generally, but we should have regulations and protections that actually protect people from things like this. So that's that for today. All right, guys, thank you for joining me. Please don't forget to like, comment, add your thoughts to the comment section, subscribe. Looking to build a subscriber base as we're just getting the channel off the ground. So please just take a minute there to hit that subscribe button, and that really helps to build the channel if you like this content. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell. That helps you guys see when I post something. So again, you guys know how to do all that stuff. Really helps to build this channel. Love you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.